NHL season being a quarter of the way done, trade rumor season is in full swing. Many insiders have been talking about the Flames and where they stand. We all know Conroy wants to add a young center and potentially trade away Vladar and Kuzmenko, but Darren Dreger has given a massive Flames trade update that pertains more to the trade deadline in March, and it looks like the Flames could be much bigger players than any of us anticipated. We're going to get into all that and more in this video, but first I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I'm Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. We would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family, and while the Flames might be making a move, you could be making a move as well, because this video is brought to you by Rentals.ca, who are proud supporters of Team Canada. While they've been supporting our national team defend their home court on international competition, they've also been helping thousands of Canadians find their home floor all across the country. Whether you're in Toronto, Vancouver, Montreal, Calgary, Halifax, Winnipeg, Mississauga, Edmonton, Victoria, or St. John's, from coast to coast, Rentals.ca have a ton of options to find the perfect place and price for you. Their website is clean and easy to use, and you can pinpoint exactly on the map where you want to move, finding all the options in your area. Find your home court with Rentals.ca. Check out their website in the description or pinned comment down below. Huge shout out to Rentals.ca for being big supporters of the channel, of Team Canada, and of you guys for helping you find the best rentals in your area. And let's get into Dreger speaking on the Flames. And it's funny because Darren Dreger, it's still a very powerful name in the realm of the NHL, but it's not as big as it used to be. So for that reason, because when he talks, it means all that much more. So let's get into this article here. It's written by Mike Gold, and this kind of, I guess, puts it together nicely. I mean, obviously, the main course here is what Dregs has to say, but this article outlines it nicely. We'll just have a couple screenshots from it. So Dreger, Flames could be more aggressive than expected at trade deadline. Don't be surprised if the Calgary Flames end up being one of the more aggressive teams in the National Hockey League ahead of this season's trade deadline. According to TSN hockey insider Darren Dreger on the latest edition of the network's Insider Training segment, Flames GM Craig Conroy remains intent upon securing a new top six center for his club, but his search could extend even beyond that if the Flames remain in the playoff mix as the snow begins to melt in late February and early March. Let's hope the snow is melting by then. I'm already sick of the winter. Oh, gosh. Either way, with the trade deadline scheduled for March 7th, the Flames still have lots of hockey to play to determine their ultimate fate, but Conroy is already working the phones a bit to upgrade the roster. I apologize. I know there's a bunch of typos in here. Here's what Dreger had to say in conversation with Pierre LeBrun and Chris Johnson on Thursday. So let's hop into that. And look at that pic I chose of Dreger. That's one of the best ones I could find on the internet. Here's what Dregsy had to say. Craig Conroy and the Calgary Flames are on an Eastern Conference tour. Conroy is scouting the OHL, but he's also in search of a top six center. Now, the fact that Calgary would like to add a centerman isn't news, but it has to be very age appropriate. Are we talking PG-13 here? What's going on? Either way, the big thing to take out of this quote here is that, it looks as though the Flames might be on a little bit of a scouting opportunity in the OHL. And I mean, look at last year's draft. They drafted pretty much the entire Ontario Hockey League. But knowing that they might be scouting out some of the talent on some of these Eastern teams as well is very, very interesting. To continue and finish his quote here, Dregsy said, so he's looking for a second line center who can play with the Flames for the next 3 to 5 years. It sounds like buying a vehicle. But beyond that, he could get aggressive as well. It all depends on if Calgary stays in the mix. They're off to a terrific start, top 10 in the NHL. Conroy and the Flames could be a bigger player than anticipated on that March 7th trade deadline. And I think obviously that is what is majorly key here, is bringing in the new update is that they could be massive players at the trade deadline. But how could that look? Last year it was sell, and we saw that with all the veterans. Most of them were traded before the actual trade deadline, but still it was sell. This year it could still be Vladar and Kuzmenko, as we'll see from the article here. So now, despite trade talk continuing to circulate around the likes of Vladar and Kuzmenko, the Flames look primed to make more of a shake-up deal to strengthen their center position. Although Connor Zary has recently gotten more of a look down the middle, the Flames still lack a true cornerstone piece at center, and their depth at the position also leaves plenty to be desired. So I think a trade here and up to the trade deadline wouldn't be for your true cornerstone piece at center. really the only way you can do that is by drafting and developing. It'll be really tough for a team to give up someone who could be a cornerstone piece, especially as a center, especially as a young right-handed center. But either way, I think it is true that the depth at the position, there's plenty to be desired, so why not trade for that and go after what kind of Dreger has been talking about here. The Flames must be careful to avoid accelerating their retool/rebuild too early, as they did after their shocking 2014-15 playoff campaign, but they have the capital to make a reasonable addition. Potential targets who have already been discussed at length in the media include Morgan Frost, Trevor Zegras, and Kirby Dach, although Conroy may have his sights set on a more unexpected prize. I don't know who that unexpected prize could be. Let me know down below if you know. I know we've spoken a lot about Dawson Mercer. Of course, we talk about him all the time. Dylan Cousins is another name that has been circulating like crazy, and even Josh Norris has been going around. But these new ones here for us anyway on the channel of Frost, Zegras, and Dach, I just kind of wanted to take a look at their stats so far this season. Now, if we start with Frost, he's played 19 games, 3 goals, 6 assists, 9 points. Been a little bit disappointing overall. You'd hope he'd be a little bit better. The only thing for me is that he is a little bit old. He will be turning 26 this season, and again, I don't think that's quite the age-appropriate thing that Dreger is leading to here, but still, Frost is in the mix as, maybe he doesn't get along greatly with Tortorella. It seems like Tortorella hates literally all of his players. So, I don't know. Frost could definitely be an option worth looking at. I just hope it wouldn't be too expensive, and in no way would he be the cornerstone piece at the center position. The next name on the list, the most exciting one, of course, is Trevor Zegras. Is he still dating Dixie D'Amelio? I think that's what people really care about. Anyway, in 21 games this year, he's got the 4 goals and 6 assists for 10 points. He's only been a -3 on a kind of strange Ducks team, which isn't too bad, in just 17 minutes of time on ice per night, which isn't too bad at all. I know a lot of Flames fans do get excited when they hear his name. It kind of seems like the Ducks might be done with him, so this one might be a little more realistic than a lot of people think, and he's still only 23 years old. He's flashy, he's got it all. In no way would he be the number 1 center of the future, but if the Flames are trying to get something going a little bit, that is not a terrible option. Now, the last one listed in the article was Kirby Dach, and I don't know how I feel about this one. He also is still 23. He's almost 24. But in 22 games this year, he's got a goal and 7 assists for 8 points and is a -18. I mean, the numbers really aren't great. Only 5 takeaways to 17 giveaways. The 1 goal on 38 shots as well. That's obviously a terrible shooting percentage, as you can see, just the 2.6. I don't know. It's interesting because some of the underlying stats aren't too bad. But still, a lot of, if he's already been given up on by the Blackhawks, who are in a complete rebuild, and it kind of seems like a lot of people within the Habs organization and their fan base are done with this guy. Is this really the kind of guy we want to bring on? I'm not too sure how I feel about this one, but let me know down in the comments how you feel about this trade update. Now let's get into today's special game, because it truly is a bit of a special one. It might actually already be going by the time this video goes up. So if you're currently watching it, I hope you're enjoying the game. And why is it a special game? Well, it's a matinee game, it's on a Friday, because of course American Thanksgiving was yesterday. Happy belated Thanksgiving to all our American viewers. But it is the first Flames Blue Jackets matchup since, of course, the tragic passing of the Gaudreau brothers, most notably Johnny Gaudreau, who played for both organizations. 3 months exactly to the day, I believe, that they did both pass away, which is very, very sad. I'm sure, again, by the time this video goes up, it might already be the first period, the second period, I'm not too sure. But either way, I would assume they did a very good celebration for these guys. I'm sure it was very emotional. I'm sure it will be a very emotional game. Just kind of one of those moments where you realize sports aren't exactly everything in this life, and sometimes some things are bigger. So once again, rest in peace to Johnny Gaudreau, to Matthew Gaudreau, and I really do hope it is a good game today. The Flames have Wolf in net, and it's always good, playing against, seeing how Monahan does. Hopefully he has a good game as well, and hopefully that one is going well. Now let's get into the comment of the day to wrap up this video, and it comes from yesterday's video about, kind of the NHL ripping off the Flames and that potential too many men call in overtime. But I like this comment here from Kim. Kim said, the first 3 penalties were more outrageous than the too many men call. The first 2 calls were interference for Wings players dropping their sticks. Man, that's an aggravating one because sometimes those players can hang on. Then Huberdeau was called for another interference penalty when the Wing player skated backwards into him. Again, how's that really interference? I agree. You can't just complain about the refs every single game, but that one really makes you question some of the NHL reffing, especially towards this organization. And call me a homer, call me biased, but that just seems to be the way it feels sometimes. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe like we saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.